This is Reverend Raul Antony, and you're listening to The Devil You Know. Get ready for Dorian and John to punch you in your ass lips.
What up, what up?
Hey, yo. I don't know.
Let's get wacky.
Hey. That's different.
Shit. It's stupid, but why not?
Yeah.
What's
People would be like,
man?
you guys are funny, or you guys are dorks. You know, it doesn't matter.
We're wacky in the morning.
They're equal.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
But
What's
it's not
going on,
morning.
man? What are you doing?
I'm not really doing much. I'm busy tattooing people.
Yeah, that's a good thing, though.
It's that whole holiday thing. Like everyone's home and they got Christmas money and whatever. So
Yeah. Christmas
Yeah.
money.
yeah, I guess that's that's what they say.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow, which will be the 10th, is my daughter Gabrielle's 19th birthday.
Oh boy,
Last year as a teenager, so
that's right. Yeah,
I'm
You guys
officially
doing
old
anything
as of
for it?
tomorrow at 6:36 in the morning.
wow, that's awesome, dude.
I,
You guys doing anything special for her?
oh yeah,
Last,
yeah. We did the whole cake thing and all this other crap and get crazy with it. And we took her out to dinner the other night and just went to went balls to the walnuts and stuff with her. And yeah, it's cool, man. Seeing your little girl grow up. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got a 19-year-old who's coming out actually this coming weekend. My two oldest are coming out to visit me, and she's getting her first tattoo. So
Oh, nice.
19-year-old. So yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah, the girls were asking, they're like, "Is Dorian coming to Walpurgis Shaw?" I'm like, I hope so. I think he's gonna. And they're like, "Cool, because I want to get this thing on my back." Like, I'm like, "Wait a minute, whoa! He's not. He's not bringing anything. Why not? I'm giving money."
like I got a family reunion I had to go to over 4th of July in Tennessee, and my mom's like, you should bring your tattoo stuff. Everyone wants some. I'm like, what? Vacation? What do you don't take your job with you to vacation? I mean, shit, man.
I know.
But
It does go with the territory, though, man. You are, you're
It does.
talented, and it's just like, because I don't want anything on me from anyone else. It's got to be from you. So I don't know.
yeah.
But it does get crazy. I know.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad people want me to. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Every COS event, people ask me that. Did you bring the 50th? Did you bring your tattoo stuff with you?
yeah, but you'd
no.
be in the hotel room or some shit, surrounded by 20 people waiting, and that's your whole time would be that. It's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you got to be a cutoff. But when you're coming over here, just bring it. Better to have it and not need it, right?
If I'm flying out there, I ain't bringing my shit, man. I don't
Okay.
trust.
I can pick you
after
up.
what they did. After what they did to your Ice Satanist stuff the last time.
I know.
I don't trust my stuff.
I don't want to be reminded of that. But yeah, I'll come over. I'll pick you up on the bike. You can ride, bitch.
All right. Yeah. we can ride the wind.
Yeah, never coming back until we touch the midnight sun.
We should get a video of that. Like we should make our own music video, and I'll ride on the back and.
Oh shit, yeah, dude, get it. We'll get wigs and
we'll
stuff.
get some wigs.
Yeah,
get
yeah.
some wigs. And bandanas.
We'll get like those leather jackets with the fringe. Yeah, remember that? The little.
We're painting a scary picture for the listeners. Right
Yeah,
now.
I'm getting turned off. We're gonna not that I'm turned on, but anyway. So let's not fucking bullshit and let's start the show.
Let's go.
All right.
Welcome to the daily grind. Did you find yourself perhaps celebrating a little too hard this New Year's Eve? Did your bed perhaps get moving a little too vigorously and now you're stuck with a hole in your wall? Well, I know I've had this problem before. So here's how you go about patching a hole in your drywall. Step 1. Make sure to sand and remove debris from around your hole before applying the self-adhesive mesh patch from your patch kit over it. Step 2. Take a flat-edged drywall knife and spread a dollop of a smooth, thick, and easy-to-spread joint compound over the spot. Finally, is your hole dry? Well, this is the only time when a dry hole is acceptable. Once it is, you can sand your patched drywall smooth and paint over it. Now you know how to repair your wall after a night of particularly hard celebrating.
Hell, the devil, and how to sell your soul. Satan has certainly been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years. The false doctrine of hell and the devil has allowed the Protestant and Catholic churches to flourish far too long. Without a devil to point their fingers at, religionists of the right-hand path would have nothing with which to threaten their followers. Satan leads you to temptation. Satan is the prince of evil. Satan is vicious, cruel, brutal, they warn. If you give in to the temptations of the devil, you will surely suffer eternal damnation and roast in hell. The semantic meaning of Satan is the adversary, or opposition, or the accuser. The very word devil comes from the Indian Devi, which means God. Satan represents opposition to all religions which serve to frustrate and condemn man for his natural instincts. He has been given an evil role simply because he represents the carnal, earthly, and mundane aspects of life. Satan, the chief devil of the Western world, was originally an angel whose duty it was to report human delinquencies to God. It was not until the 14th century that he began to be depicted as an evil deity who was part man and part animal with goat-like horns and hooves. Before Christianity gave him the name of Satan, Lucifer, etc., the carnal side of man's nature was governed by the god which was then called Dionysus, or Pan, depicted as a satyr or faun by the Greeks. Pan was originally the good guy and symbolized fertility and fecundity. Whenever a nation comes under a new form of government, the heroes of the past become the villains of the present. So it is with religion. The earliest Christians believed that the pagan deities were devils, and to employ them was to use black magic. Miraculous heavenly events they termed white magic. This was the sole distinction between the two. The old gods did not die. They fell into hell and became devils. The bogey, goblin, or boogaboo, used to frighten children, is derived from the Slavonic bog, which means God, as does Baga in Hindu. Many pleasures revered before the advent of Christianity were condemned by the new religion. It required little changeover to transform the horns and cloven hooves of Pan into a most convincing devil. Pan's attributes could be neatly changed into charged with punishment sins, and so the metamorphosis was complete. The association of the goat with the devil is found in the Christian Bible, where the holiest day of the year, the Day of Atonement, was celebrated by casting lots for 2 goats without blemish, one to be offered to the Lord and one to Azazel. The goat carrying the sins of the people was driven into the desert and became a scapegoat. This is the origin of the goat, which is still used in large ceremonies today, as it was also used in Egypt, where once a year it was sacrificed to a god. The devils of mankind are many, and their origins diversified. The performance of satanic ritual does not embrace the calling forth of demons. This practice is followed only by those who are in fear of the very forces they conjure. Supposedly, demons are malevolent spirits with attributes conducive to the deterioration of the people or events that they touch upon. The Greek word daemon meant a guardian spirit or source of inspiration, and to be sure, later theologians invented legion upon legion of these harbingers of inspiration or wicked. An indication of the cowardice of magicians of the right-hand path is the practice of calling upon a particular demon who would supposedly be a minion of the devil to do his bidding. The assumption is that the demon, being only a flunky of the devil, is easier to control. Occult law states that only the most formidably protected or insanely foolhardy sorcerer would try to call forth the devil himself. The Satanist does not furtively call upon these lesser devils, but brazenly invokes those who people that infernal army of long-standing outrage, the devils themselves. Theologians have catalogued some of the names of devils in their lists of demons, as might be expected, but the roster which follows contains the names most effectively used in satanic ritual. These are the names and origins of the gods and goddesses called upon, which make up a large part of the occupancy of the royal palace of hell. The 4 crown princes of hell. Satan, adversary, opposite, accuser, Lord of fire, the inferno, the south. Lucifer, bringer of light, enlightenment, the air, the morning star, the east. Belial, without a master, baseness of the earth, independence, the north. Leviathan, the serpent out of the deeps, the sea, the west.
All right, episode 62. Let's get back into some people who it's experience in the podcast business, John.
Yes, that's why we have Reverend Raul Antony, everyone.
Hey everyone, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
What's happening, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Awesome.
One of these days we'll have that applause ready for somebody. One of these days it's going to happen.
Wait, you didn't hear it?
Well, I heard it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you know what I mean, like that instant, you know, like.
Oh yeah.
You got to work on those drops. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Reverend Raul Antony, and I look over. I'm like, oh yeah, the soundboard. Hold on.
Everyone's like looking around, like, who's that? Who's that? And then
Yeah.
there's like the applause button lighting up, and
Oh, humans.
yeah.
The applause button.
So what you been up to, man?
Just been hanging out, keeping busy with a bunch of projects. But happy to be here. Took some time to talk to you guys. Been a longtime fan, so
Nice.
happy to join you.
You're always busy, aren't you? You've always got a lot of projects happening.
Yeah. I try to keep my plate full of stuff, but I also like to kind of, enjoy life too, So I take breaks from things and, spend time with the family and we'll go out camping and doing things like that. But when I come back to it, I always try to have something to work on.
Sweet. Very cool. I know the feeling.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on too. I know.
Yeah. My plate is tiny, but there's like things overflowing on it. It's nuts.
It's like this buffet, satanic buffet. Yeah.
Where's that at?
We gotta make sure that.
Yeah.
Is that breaking up for everyone? For you, John?
I'm not breaking up, and Raul isn't. You only you were.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. You're coming in stuttering.
Yeah. Everyone's like, why don't they get their shit together? It's like, we did. Everybody rebooted. We're good to go. It's just the internet or Skype or who knows.
Yeah, it's
Holy shit! I can tell anything you guys are saying.
Oh boy. Should we?
flying blind.
I'm flying blind on a rocket cycle.
Awesome.
He just says awesome.
Just
he didn't even know what we said.
Awesome and
He's just like,
Just
oh,
say
cool,
awesome.
right on.
No, I'm like sarcastically awesome. Like, oh shit, I can't hear a fucking thing. All right, cool.
It can sandwich with an arch eye. Yeah.
Well, try if you can try to just dial back in and see if that helps. That sometimes works. Just redialing in.
Yeah, let's do it live on the show. We'll kick you out right now, and then I'm going to get you back in.
So, and with
We
the
should do
magic
this
of
all
editing,
over. This is crazy. I don't know. What's that?
with the magic of editing, this will all seem professionally. This is like all on purpose.
Of course.
Tiny food.
Okay.
How's that? Is it any better?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, at the moment, sure.
You sound better, actually.
You do, yeah. You look better, too. What, you been working out?
Yeah, in the last 30 seconds, definitely.
Oh shit! There
Oh,
it
I
goes
just
again.
want the shit, yeah. You're the last 30...
Great.
Sweet. This whole episode's going to sound like a ska fucking competition. Did you really hear that, or you're just laughing?
All right.
All right.
Look,
Awesome.
I'm going to hear bits and pieces. I mean, that's that's how it goes. You guys
No,
are
we
hearing
can-
bits and pieces. What I
Yeah, but let's reboot or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty sketchy.
It is. It's bad, and it's just gonna make the whole show fucking like. Did you
right.
Let's all disconnect and like try again. I'll reboot.
Yeah, when you
myself,
reboot
too.
your modem though, unplug the power for like a full minute. It'll there's a little thing inside every modem that it's kind of like a cache system almost, and he just left.
All right, I'm gonna reboot too, just in case.
Okay, man.
All right, let's roll with it then.
Yeah, let's go. Let me get
All
mine.
right, let's start from the top here. Okay. All right, so episode 62. John, let's get back to talking to someone who knows a thing or two about podcasting.
That sounds good. That's why we've invited Reverend Raul Antony, everyone. How you doing?
All right, thanks guys for having me.
And that's good. That's great.
Audience is on point tonight.
Oh yeah, out there
Yeah.
in podcast land.
It's like they had their finger on the button.
The applause light went off just in time.
So how are you doing, sir? How has your holiday season been?
It was pretty good actually. Spent time with the family. We had the Christmas tree or Yule tree or whatever you want to call it up, and we did a gift exchange, and New Year's was cool. We ended up just staying at home. Kind of feeling a little sick, ate a little too much, and you just got really lethargic. So we just stuck around at home, and then I did some traveling for work. So kind of been pretty busy past few weeks, but
Nice.
it's good, been fun.
We call it
Did
the
you get any,
fucking tree
tiki
here.
drinks in?
Okay, you go ahead.
Tiki drinks.
Wait, the fucking tree? Wait a minute.
We call it the fucking tree.
I missed something there.
Yeah, Marlene calls it the fucking tree because every certain time around this time of the year, let me say that again. Every year around this time or that time, she's always like, Mick. I'm like, what? She's like, it's time to put up the fucking tree. So I guess it's called the fucking tree. I don't know.
Huh.
So if
That's
you
all I
had
got.
like the Festivus tree, that would make sense because it's just like a big pole. So I think
I
that
don't know.
would.
Maybe she was just really turned on by you putting up the tree or something.
Maybe, because sometimes she calls it the effing fucking tree. I don't know what that means.
Wow,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's time. It's about that time to put up the effing fucking tree. So yeah.
Double fuck, man.
You got the bristles and everything, you're good. So how long do you keep your tree up then? As soon as it's the
3
holidays over?
hours. 3 fucking
3
hours. No. No, it goes up and I don't. This year though, we didn't put it up. We didn't put it up at all. There was no time. But when we do put it up, it just goes up maybe a couple days before, and maybe a week and a half tops. It stays up. That's about it.
Nice.
Get that thing back in the garage.
Yeah, I'm pretty lazy. I put it up and then I think I took it down maybe a week ago. So it's been up for a while. It's like into January already. We keep it up there, and our cat loves to play with it.
Yeah, definitely. Did you ever put it up and then take it right down immediately and then put it right back up immediately again? Did you ever do that?
No, I
neither.
don't see any reason why
I don't know why
do that.
anyone would do that.
Has that happened?
No, I was just wondering if it happened with you because it never happened here. So I just think maybe somewhere in the world.
Took it down the wrong day or something.
Yeah.
It's only Christmas Eve.
Oh man,
I had a bad
put
dream.
it up upside
I took
down.
it put it back up. No, I don't know.
It's like upside down. Like, oh, that's not working.
So,
but yeah, it's been good. It's been pretty busy weeks. But I try to keep busy. Get a lot going on, but also try to spend time with family and just enjoy life.
very, yeah.
And you're always got a lot of projects going. I know that about you.
Yeah. I have some of my own projects. I have a few podcasts I work on. Do a little bit of music recording when I get the chance. I also do a little bit of editing and writing for the Black Flame, which is the Church of Satan's online magazine. So I've been working on that and doing a little bit of web design too. So a little bit of everything. I'm all over the place.
Nice.
All right.
Have you ever done any cheese sculpting?
No, but I like a cheese board. I like a good cheese board.
John is a master at it, actually.
I think I'm the only
At
cheese
cheese sculpting?
sculptor in the world. Yeah, man.
Really?
Love it.
Cutting the cheese?
Well,
Is
no,
that-
no, he's a cheese eater.
Oh, is that what it is?
I thought you were talking about-
You know how you chip away the stone? He nibbles away the cheese until there's a work of art left behind.
Yeah, I use my
I thought
teeth to sculpt it with.
I thought we were talking about cutting the cheese, but
He's
you
a
can do
cheese
that.
whiz.
No, that would be
definitely.
Dorian. Dorian's amazing at cutting the cheese.
I cut the cheese. He is a cheese whiz.
Whoops.
So John serves it up and then
And
you-
eats it. I serve it up and eat it. Yeah.
And somehow I pass it. I don't know. It's weird.
Uh-oh.
So we share a colon. I don't know. Where am I going with this? Where were we?
Well, let's start with let's start with the Black Flame. Tell us a bit about what you've been doing with that.
And begin.
So that actually started, I think it was a little over a year ago. Well, obviously the Black Flame itself, the magazine, has been around for a long time. It was the Church of Satan's official print magazine. And a little bit personal history on me is that was actually one of my first exposures to Satanism was in the Black Flame. So obviously print magazines aren't a big thing anymore. So Peter, or Magus Gilmore, was thinking of what to do with it. He wanted to revive it in some way, but in a way that would be fitting for today's content
Market.
environment,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So, well, we decided to make it part of the website, part of the news feed, and try to take the focus away from Satanism as philosophy, but more as a lifestyle. So a lot of the articles are going to be interviews with musicians and artists, articles about applied Satanism, whether it be through brewing or art or music or in ritual, just the accoutrement of rituals. So that's kind of been the focus now with the Black Flame going online. And we may actually revive some of the old articles, some of these long lost articles from the print magazine, and put it online too. So we've been thinking what we could do with that. So to me, it's a pretty cool project because I I got my start in Satanism through the Black Flame, and now working with Central on bringing it back up has been a magical thing for me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That sounds awesome.
Do you feel like do a lot of people these days do the digital magazine? Because I still love magazines. You know, like buying an actual copy in my hands kind of person.
Yeah, I think I don't think people do the digital magazine. I mean, you could have to talk to Magister Johnson more about that. I mean, he does the Old Nick digital magazine, and I've seen that before, and he does a really good job with it. I know a couple of other, it's actually really popular amongst audio producers. There's a lot of audio production digital magazines that are pretty well put together, but I think it's just mostly going towards just the website blog format, and that's going to be, I think, the main driver for content, going forward, and also video. Actually, I actually take that back a little bit. I think the future is going to be video.
Oh yeah.
John, I think you're on that too. Trying to bring. I don't know if you want to talk about that too much, but you've got some video projects with the COS in the works. Yeah. So I think that's going to be really key. I mean, right now people.
But I'm not being interviewed, so let's talk about you.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be a part of that too in some ways, right? So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I know, man.
Very cool, man. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to live and just exist vitally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as Satanists, I think we always, it's always the best time for us. But I think I don't like to speak in collective terms, but as a movement, I think we're in an interesting time.
Yeah. I think we're blossoming. I think that's it's since the inception, it's been great, and it's just been slowly blooming. And now there's just so many amazing members. Central is just doing such a great job and doing so many things that we can't mention right now that are going to be out soon that just blow my mind. Seriously, it's just amazing right now, and a great time to live. Yes.
Yeah, and I think it's as somebody who's followed Satanism for a long time, and it ebbs and flows. To be honest, there are times when you have more activity, and then it goes into a little bit of a lull, into it goes underground and it comes back up again. But I think
that's because we're all getting laid. But go on.
Well, there's that. But I think, as the maestro, as Magus Gilmore, I think he knows. I think he's got a good ear and eye for when to bring out the best characteristics of the talent of the COS, and kind of picks up on certain things. And in the background, we've got certain channels that we've set up for communicating and organizing, and kind of dispersing resources. I guess the best way to say it in terms of certain projects is, we're not administrative people. As Satanists, we're not busybodies. We try. Well, we are busybodies in a way, but we also try to live life. We're not. I don't like Satanism as a thing to do necessarily. Right. I think as Satanists, the Church of Satan shouldn't be a thing that keeps you busy. I think you should just be living your life, and the products of your life, feed into the Church of Satan and through our channels. I think some people think that, to be in the Church of Satan is to give you a job. You apply, I'm going to join, now give me something to do. It doesn't really work that way.
Especially militant first phase, people kind of, that they're almost looking for that,
Yeah, and I could kind of, I can appreciate that a little bit and understand that. I try to sympathize with that. Look at it from their perspective. They see so many Satanists doing such great things, and they want to be a part of that somehow. And I think there could be some role for that in some points, but for the most part, it's just to tell those people to work on their own talents and the fruits of their labor.
Any room for the Nigerians or what?
Whew. Man.
There's a lot of them.
And they've got, I don't know, they always want to join, and how. They've
asked Dorian and me to initiate them.
You would think by now that they'd just kind of start their own pseudo branch. There's so many of them. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's funny because
call it the Church of Coolio Satan.
and part of me, wants to just just dismiss them completely, but part of me also sympathizes in a way because a lot of them are such desperate situations that like they literally want to sell their souls to something, and they see Church of Satan, Satanism, and they think of that as an easy way out. And unfortunately, it's not, and there's nothing we can really do with them.
Did you hear the episode? I don't know if you listened. We'll find out right now. Where one of them said that they would kill 10 people for me or something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yep.
So I started making a list, but yeah.
I mean, actually, the craziest one that I know is this one guy, and I think some of us may know who we're talking about. But like, he comes in like seasons, like a few times a year. He contacts everybody, asking like, "Who shall I chill for you?" And I think he might be even like, I think he might be French Canadian. I don't know. Wow. Yeah, I get that indication, but because some people try to communicate back to him and try to troll him a little bit. I tried to not to. I don't have the time for that, but yeah.
The cool thing to do now is to just, do song lyrics. You just write back song lyrics. It's awesome. They go for it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Like, what are you trying to say?
You're like, be good, and they're all like, how do I do that? And you Rick roll them. It's so funny.
Oh yeah.
Never gonna give you up.
Like, what does that mean?
Never gonna let you down.
So let's talk about podcasting a bit. You kind of helped get well, obviously one of the first people doing it as far as COS members.
You're old. No.
Well, I am involved with Radio Free Satan, and that's been the longest running kind of podcast network, not to upstage anybody, but it's been around for quite a while as like an online music streaming. That's the thing. Like, Radio Free Satan has been mostly a music thing. Has been about, and it comes from
or comedy or
comedy, yeah, but it comes from the broadcast world, from the tradition of broadcast. Mm-hmm. So we've had like, you have comedy radio stations, you have, and you've got your classical station in Vox Satanic, and you've got metal, punk, goth, industrial, all that stuff. So the large focus has been music, and that's been around since Magister Billum is going to kill me, but I don't, over 15 years, I'll say. Yeah. So I've got a show on that, and I've been also doing back end stuff as a web designer and webmaster for Radio Free Satan. So I've been doing that stuff. Right now, I've been focusing on some other podcast projects outside of Radio Free Satan. I've been working on The Forest Passage, which is a podcast over at Heathen Harvest, which is a kind of counterculture industrial online magazine. So, so I've been doing that and having fun with that. That's actually more of a discussion podcast, kind of like this. We're talking topics. Yeah. So and then I have my Chaos Sedated podcast on Radio Free Satan, which is music, industrial noise, ambient music. So I kind of get both sides of things.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm getting back to Chaos Sedated right now, actually. I just started recording another episode a few days ago, and it's been a while. It's been, I think, about 6 months since my last episode. I think my issue with that is that it's hard for me to stick to one format, to one style of music. I listen to so many different kinds of music. Yeah. So it's like, I'm not in the mood for that anymore. So I don't have material to play because I haven't bought a new industrial record in a long time or something. So yeah.
It's expected, though, that, you don't have to come out with one every week. It's just, when it happens, and it's all good. He'll come out with a show, and 2 years later, he'll come out with the show again. It's cool.
It's cool, and in terms of a producer, because you get to live your life and do other things. But in terms of the audience, they really like the regular schedule, and I'm just terrible at that just because I have so much stuff to do. But
I might edit that out.
No, you guys are pretty regular, right? I mean,
every week.
Not bathroom.
Yeah. So. Thanks for letting us know how often you listen. But,
John won't give me a break, so yeah, we're always gone. But I think for some of that stuff though, like, even if you don't buy a new industrial record, you can at least pull different tracks at what you played before off of albums for a mix. for
Oh,
playlists.
absolutely.
We
Yeah.
have we don't have any plan at all. we, that's why like this dead space. We're like, what are we going to ask next?
That's so funny because I actually do listen to you guys regularly, and I see. I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have I think about a dozen podcasts I subscribe to. The problem is like I do it in binges. It's like I'll binge
Yeah.
one podcast for like a month, just episode after episode, and like all lined up, and then I'll go to another podcast and listen to a bunch of those. So I just recently went through your podcast, but I think I might be a couple of weeks behind now. So.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate you listening. We got we're up to 5 now. That's awesome.
5 listeners.
5 listeners. Yeah.
Then we said vagina.
Oh yeah, those drops are good.
Vagina.
There they are. Yep.
For no reason. You got to wait till it calls for it. Like now.
Vagina.
I gotta get some new sounds in there. I haven't even spent time on the soundboard for a while. Gotta get some new shit in there.
Amy don't get old though. Amy don't get old.
No, she stays young.
You should get you watch Aqua Teen Hunger Force?
Oh, absolutely not.
I've got one of the first seasons on DVD somewhere actually.
It's a good show for drops. Listen through it. That's good stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't want to take anything that's copyrighted. I want to.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, I want to get. Amy gave us permission.
Especially with all the money we make off this show.
I know.
Especially with all the money we spend on this show.
Oh, that's the struggle. That's the real struggle. Yeah.
It gets to you. We had a few donations, man. It's actually pretty cool. And we really, really appreciate it because it does help. It's nuts.
Oh, show.
Good. Yeah, I know some shows they do like donation read-offs where like every episode they read off the people who donate, and that tends to incentivize encourage people to donate because people have to hear their name.
Shit,
Did you say the amount
that's what we're
that they
supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
I was going to give a shout out to everybody then.
Give shout outs for donations, but you got to kind of like, you don't want to go, and this guy, well, he said 50 cents, whatever.
Nobody sent that. Yeah, that's funny.
Just $1.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to Matt Sanji anyway, dude, because
oh yeah,
he did the most. That was awesome.
No, he's a good guy.
Really
He's a good guy.
Oh, I love him. He's like a little brother.
Oh, it's funny. We have this kind of thing where we tend to show up at the same place,
Yeah.
but just as I'm leaving or he's arriving, or just as it's you can ask him about that. It's weird. It's happened multiple times. We're just like we just miss each other and we're like, oh hey.
Yeah. That's funny.
Because he's in Southern California, and being also from Southern California, we have some similar interests, tiki, goth kind of stuff. Yeah,
Yep.
we tend to butt heads, not in a bad way. In terms of
Right.
just showing up places.
Crossing paths, you mean? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, crossing paths. There you go.
Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
Yeah. So, what other projects besides? Okay, we got podcasting and we've got Black Flame. What else have you been working on?
Well, recently, with Heathen Harvest, I worked on the redesign of the website. So that was actually something I've been working on for a couple months now, giving it a whole new redesign, a new look and navigation. And if people want to check that out, they can go to heathenharvest.org and just check out the articles there. We cover post-industrial music, neo-folk, ambient, noise, experimental, lots of interviews, music debuts, video debuts, premieres, things like that. It's pretty cool. It's another
I gotta
zine.
give it to you for revamping, because that in itself is a tedious task. You probably know.
Yeah. It was really tricky, and it took me so long because, when you revamp, it's not like starting from scratch. You need to keep everything, from the old site. During one of my old iterations, I lost like almost all the posts and images and broke everything. I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? I gotta hire somebody else because this can't be on me. But then I actually figured it out. Yeah. Luckily,
it's actually more like this.
like giving birth to something terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I'm revamping I Satanist, and I've been working on it every like free moment I can, but adding every product and different things, and I'm coming out with much better prices on certain things and all that stuff. But it's just tedious, and it's a lot of work. But,
Yeah.
I'm almost done. So yeah,
Good. Look forward to that.
sweet.
Yeah.
So more about you.
You started to tell us about how you kind of discovered Satanism through the Black Flame. Can you tell us a little bit more about your background, your upbringing, and how you came into all this chaos?
Yeah. Well, upbringing. Grew up in New York City. Family, not really religious, more like culturally religious, culturally Catholic. Didn't really go to church much. When times were tough or during religious, during the holidays, we'd go to church or whatever, but it was not a regular thing. I did do the sacraments. I did like the communion, confirmation, and all that stuff.
Those wafers are good, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Like
the
them.
wine is pretty good too.
Now with 50% more Jesus.
Yeah, and I went through all that, and mostly out of respect for my family. I was not the most rebellious kid against my family. I rebelled in other ways. I got into lots of scuffles and fights in school, but not towards my family. My family was good. They took care of me. So I kind of did it out of respect for them. But in the back of my mind, I knew it wasn't really for me, and was actually going through the confirmation process where you actually have to study the Bible. That's when I started to question things. I remember it was about the Eucharist. It was the transformation of bread and wine into body and blood. And I think the teacher said something like, well, is that real? Do you really believe that that's what's happening? And all the kids are like, yeah, of course. And I'm thinking, no, it's still bread and wine. Like, it's not really body and blood. And I remember being told, like, no, like that is crucial to the belief. Like, you actually have to literally believe you're doing cannibalism. Like,
symbolic cannibalism. Yeah.
Oh, it's not even symbolic. Like,
it's not symbolic. They actually think it's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's more Catholic than like Christian doesn't necessarily. Christian thinks it's more symbolic, but.
Yeah, but in the Catholic Church, you are literally you're actually observing a magical ritual. That is a ritual in which that transforms. So I thought, okay, you're crazy. So I just went along with it. I was like, sure, whatever. But in the back of my head, I was like, no, okay, this is all garbage. And I started to study other religions and other philosophies, and discovered all kinds of things, from Crowley to LaVey, chaos magic, Gnosticism, and just trying to see what's out there. I was also really into the counterculture scene in New York. So I was about 15 years old. I was exploring these underground bookstores in Manhattan and picking up all kinds of books and researching like outsider art, industrial music, and kind of modern primitivism, things like that. But I always came back to Satanism. Like, something about Satanism kind of attracted me. Obviously, the aesthetic was interesting to me, but the philosophy was what really attracted me to just sticking around. Really, all this other stuff was interesting too. But I do pick up some things from these other schools of thought. But it was LaVey's kind of down to earth and rational, realistic thinking that really kept me interested in Satanism. I picked up the Black Flame, which was the Church of Satan's official magazine, and that was actually really important to me, because a lot of what LaVey writes is about individualism and applying Satanism, right? And that's cool if you're just getting it from one guy, right? If it's just one guy, you're thinking, okay, well, is it really individualistic? Are other people actually doing anything with that? Or is it just all, a false prophet kind of guy? Is this guy a charlatan? But when you read the Black Flame, when I read the Black Flame, you got to see all these other perspectives on Satanism. You see how Satanism is applied by all these different kinds of people from different political points of views, from the extreme left to the extreme right, music, from metal, jazz. There was even some stuff about voodoo and Western African traditions and Russian traditions. So you really got to see how Satanism didn't just live with LaVey, it spread, and other people were applying it successfully, doing things with it. So that was really important to see in the Black Flame and other
know
magazines.
What you mean, man.
Yeah, and also Not Like Most, Magister Paradise's magazine. That was also really good. Really because he actually had a kind of sense of humor with things, and he brought out that kind of trickster element to Satanism.
Yeah.
Whereas the Black Flame was pretty serious stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so from there, read LaVey, and actually got more involved in the underground music scene in the coming years, promoting, doing shows, and I actually ended up working with a lot of other COS members and unknowingly. I was doing these shows, and I would be wearing a sigil of Baphomet, and they'd say, "Oh, are you a Satanist? Are you a member of the COS?" And at the time, I wasn't. I was like, "No," but I do identify, and I got to know people, and I got to meet people. But over time, I got to realize that I was, in a way, profiting off of Satanism, off of the Church of Satan, through these concerts. And at one concert, Blood Axis concert, Magus Gilmore attended, and I got to meet him. And at that point, I realized, okay, I've been a fellow traveler for long enough. It's time for me to put my head in and officially join and continue this relationship. So that's where that happened.
Excellent.
That's really cool.
That's some cool church bells going on.
It's my clock. It's a grandfather clock here. I always forget people can hear that.
No, that was really good. That was good fitting, like ritualistic sound.
The bell tolls for you.
So it is done. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I thought it was actually pretty cool. I was like, oh, nice. Got the drops.
You're like John with that fucking soundboard. No, it's his clock.
Button.
Here's a good one. Anyway. Stupid random drops of whatever. You're like,
it's serious reverberation there.
That was good. That's a good breakup drop, yeah.
So keep talking so this can turn into like a actual episode.
All right, yeah. So I mean that I like how do I say this?
Where were we?
A lot of people ask me like, okay, well, should I join the Church of Satan? What do I get out of joining the Church of Satan? And I often refer to my kind of coming into the COS as like an example. All right, you get out of it what you put into it.
A decoder pin.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know there are like some detractors out there who say, oh, I was a COS member and for so many years such and such, and they don't do anything, and I left, and all I got was this flimsy card. And then I look at them and I check them out and I say, well, you're not doing anything with your life. What would you have gotten out of it?
Yeah.
Or I think about it, or I think
you're not putting anything into it. How are you going to get anything out of it? Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, hey, I joined at about the same time as you did. I got so much out of it. I got to do so many things with so many different people. And where were you? Like, what were you doing?
I was in my mom's basement, man. What?
Exactly.
They don't do anything for me. Yeah.
They didn't send any naked chicks to my house.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
I'm supposed to get Illuminati power. Yeah.
Oh, man. That's a whole other thing.
All right.
So how about friends and family? When you told them, hey, I'm a Satanist, and that's that. What did they treat you differently, or were they cool?
There was one situation in high school where it was a couple days after the Columbine shooting, right?
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I was kind of a known figure in my high school.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, I got into scuffles. I had people seemed to always kind of surround me, kind of attracted to whatever I was doing.
Cool.
And,
we should spar sometime.
And the high school admins thought that I was some ringleader of a gang or something. And then so they rounded up like all these kids that I was friends with, and they said they all kind of affirmed it. They're like, "Oh yeah, he's like the Satanist. He's the boss." And
I can see that.
me
I can see
in.
that. You look like El Jefe, you know?
Yeah, right. And then they found like a kid had a Satanic Bible on him, and then they read through the Satanic Bible and things about destroying your enemies and things like that, and they thought, okay, this is kind of dangerous, violent stuff. They called in my parents, and they went through this stuff with them, saying what they found. And
did you quote any actual old King James Bible back at them and say this is even worse?
No, but it was more like, what did I do? I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't violate any rules or anything like that. And my mom actually pulled out her lawyer's card and said, okay, if he's in trouble, if he did something wrong, talk to my lawyer and we'll talk about it. Otherwise, like, are we done here? And they got kind of spooked by that and said, okay, no, take it easy, go home, It actually turned out one of the deans was like hardcore Catholic and was upset with my skinny puppy shirt. So like that's yeah. I had like this Last Rites skinny puppy shirt and had like this gargoyle on it, and that really disturbed her for some reason. Yeah, but anyway, my parents actually talked it over with me and thought, well, do you really believe this stuff? And I said, well, yeah. And they looked through the material with me, and then they said, well, you seem to not get into trouble. You're not a criminal. You're not a sociopath. Okay, as long as you continue doing well in school, to believe what you want. But even my dad, he kind of pulled me aside. He's more of an atheist, but believes that the teachings of Christianity make for good citizens. I disagree, but at the time I was like, well, I actually do agree. I actually do agree for most people that's fine and that keeps them in line. For me, I don't think that. I don't need that. So, but I thought, okay, this is good, and I kind of went on for that. Friends stuff, I don't really talk about it with friends. I don't really mention it unless I'm wearing something that signals it. And then they'll ask me about it and I'll talk about it, but I don't go around flashing things. I don't really wear pentagrams, sigil of Baphomets often or anything like that, unless the situation calls for it. So
let me know if you need something.
I got a few. Don't worry. I got a few from you specifically. Yes.
Awesome.
Oh man, sounds good.
That is cool. You don't get to hear that every day. With parents who are like rational about hearing about this.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's just.
My parents would be.
Right.
I don't know. I think it comes from the fact that I don't know. My parents. Well, my dad actually, he was kind of a revolutionary figure in Peru. That's where we're from, and he was actually involved in like these radical socialist groups, and that were arming up against the government, and that's actually kind of how he met my mom, and
Nice.
and
Wow.
and so he kind of comes from this kind of revolutionary, kind of radical background.
That's why
actually,
you liked
but not
Rogue
to-
One, huh?
yeah. But the thing is, though, he was more intellectual, though. He was more of an intellectual, and he thought, okay, these ideas, these principles lead to a good government, kind of Marxist socialist idea. But then when he saw it applied, when he saw how it actually comes into reality through this violence and like one of my aunts was beheaded in front of a bunch of children because it turned out that she was working for the government. So these guys were not messing around. Like, do you work for the government? We're going to do terrible things to you and your family. So then when he realized like these philosophies, these politics lead to that, that's when he started to back away from it. And he's like, okay, we need to get out of here. And there's all this other drama. Like my grandfather was actually more conservative. He actually worked. I don't want to get too much into stuff, but he was on the other side, and through things we actually made it over to the United States because my grandfather's involvement with the military, the U.S. military. There was some counterintelligence kind of stuff going on.
Wow.
So
Hold on, guys. There's a knock at my door. Hold on a second.
yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean Peru at the time, like the 70s, 80s was crazy. It was almost total civil war between these radical socialists and the almost fascist government kind of reacting against it, and constantly at war. I mean, it settled quote unquote settled in the 90s, but it only settled after an authoritarian fascist government literally wiped out anybody involved with these groups. So this is all like in my blood, in my genes, in my background, like this kind of revolutionary counter culture. So I wasn't really too surprised to see that.
Is it hard to wash blood out of your jeans? What'd you say? No, I'm kidding.
It can be. It can be.
I'm in a mood tonight. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. So it was always fun to talk to that's why my parents tend to be pretty open-minded about things. So, yeah.
Awesome. That's really cool.
So, well,
what else?
John, asked him the question.
The question? Yeah.
The question.
All right. Yeah, I guess we've summed it all up, right? Was there anything else we need to talk about?
I do record music. I do some.
Oh music. Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, tell us about some music you do.
I do some ambient industrial recording as Anarch. It's just one word, Anarch, and that comes from.
How do you spell that?
Anarch.
Nice.
Yeah, did I misspell that? I don't know.
No, it's your spelling.
So yeah, the project is based off of the idea of the kind of the radical individualist, the anarch as a symbol of total free will, and I'm totally butchering this. Well, the anarch.
Hurry up.
The anarch is a symbol of like the sovereign individual, and a lot of my work as a recording is based on the book Umswell, which is the book in which this concept comes from. And in the story, there's a character who is this anarch archetype, and he's more of a historian. He records, he lives inside like a fascist regime, and rather than trying to topple it and destroy it, he kind of works his way around it and starts to map it out and kind of live his life as best as he can inside of that kind of society. Not because he likes that society, not because he would want that, but that's because that's what it is, and he realizes that people around him need that kind of to live. But he's a historian. He records and he catalogs and observes. So my audio project is similar to that, is that I record, I analyze what's going on in culture and society around me and try to put that to music, to audio. I don't want to say music because it's experimental noise. It's kind of, there's some rhythm that I'm working on, but it's more of like an audio collage project.
Nice.
Very cool.
So how can somebody hear that immediately? Where would they need to go?
They can just search Anarch SoundCloud. Let me pull it up here. I'm terrible at sharing my own stuff. I'm great at like promoting other people's work, and but I'm terrible at showing off my own.
I know how you feel, man.
Let me search it. Where am I?
Man, I'll beat up the keyboard.
Damn. I know, this is great. This is great.
That is the best ambience, though, man.
Take your time. I got a whole minute and 9 seconds of this.
Okay.
Or we can listen to this while we're waiting. And we're back.
Oh, this is so bad. So,
still looking.
Next up. And we're back.
Bringing
it. You got it?
Yeah.
I'm not editing that out. I'm leaving it. I don't care. That's awesome.
All right. So if you want to hear Anarch, it's at soundcloud.com/anarchaudio. So
There you go.
you can go there, check it out. I've got some tracks that I've worked on in the past and some tracks I've submitted to compilation. So that's there.
Are the cops at your house?
Yeah, what's going on over there? Hide me too, hide me too.
I'm in the inner city, so you get to
All
hear
right,
a lot.
Clancy, get the boys and surround the house.
Oh yeah, they've been listening in. They're like, oh no, we're on to him now.
Would I throw a lighted match if my friend Rocky was in there? You might, Rabbit. Anyway, where were we?
I don't know.
Anarch Audio on SoundCloud. Check it out, everyone. Listen, before you go, it was a great interview, but this before you go, we asked this question of all our guests. What does Satan mean to you?
All right, so Satan to me is the force of yeah. Satan is a force of nature that just keeps things in balance and keeps the universe going. Whether it's lust that keeps the human species going, or whether it's vengeance, pride, ego, all those things that by other white light religions try to keep it down. Satanism champions it, embodies it in the symbol of Satan. So that's where I think the power of Satanism comes from, because you're working with things that are already natural, are inside of you, and you're just tapping into it, you're exercising it, you're applying it to whatever it is that you're attracted to, whether it's music, art, literature, or just living your life. A good tiki drink or a nice car, all those things are Satan, in a way that it's like you're projecting your ego, your wants and desires into something else, and breathing life and magic into it.
Excellent.
Very cool. Great answer, man. Very cool.
All right.
Sure.
Well, listen, before everybody goes, we just want to thank you, man. We really want to thank you for coming on, taking the time to from your busy schedule and joining us.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks for having me. It's been a
man.
blast.
Until next time, everyone. Hail Satan.
Hail
Hail
Satan.
Satan.